invested money well, kind of did good for myself and my family. And I was just saying, hey, I'm just going to coast that out from here. Are you all with me? Okay? And I got a phone call by this gentleman, and this phone call changed my whole direction, all right? First of all, when I got the call, it was just like a blessing. It was like unbelievable to get a call from this man because of the respect I have for him. He has a strong background. He's very credible. And not just that, I made millions of dollars with him, right, in the past.
All right.
He had mentored me in this business for over 10 years. And I had one of the best runs, all right, in the industry. Millions of dollars. And so the respect is like, what, out of the roof, all right, for this man here. So when he called, you know, you all know Ashley, my lady, she was right there, and I had already told her over and over, I'm done, I'm not doing anything else, we're just going to ride it out, and after that, that's just that. And then when the phone rings, she's sitting there looking at me like, what's going through your mind, okay? And I really think that they kind of talked before we talked to set this up. They put me in a setup, okay? We just that close, okay? We cool like that. So after the conversation, I promise you, I haven't been able to sleep since. He's a visionary, and he's painted me a picture that was very clear for not just my future, for all of our futures, all right? That's right. That's right. So, I have so much respect for him. I trust him. I trust him with my life. He's helped my family, and he's like family, all right? So would you all please do me a favor and stand to your feet, and let's give a great welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago, Illinois, Grand President.
All right, how's everybody doing?
Great, great.
Wow, this is an exciting time. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Now, if Ashley and I kind of coordinated in that discussion, I would never admit it, right? But let me tell you, in all seriousness, it was exciting to be able to bring the team back together. So many of us have worked together in the past, and we were able to do good and do well, right? Do well personally while we were doing good for our communities and for other people. And for me, that's a true definition of success. Okay. So I definitely want to give it back to Marshall and Ashley for their vision, for their leadership and success. Let's give them a round. And you know, when we came here in a little bit more than a year ago, when I say we, myself and some others who kind of saw the world opportunity and saw it as a significant vehicle, for me, to give you just a little of the background on how I ended up here, I've been in the industry 27 years, and I believe this is the greatest industry in the world. And so if any of you are here and you're kind of questioning, maybe you see a little bit of direct marketing or network marketing being a little bit beneath you, I can relate. Because there was a time early in my career in this industry where I thought, man, is that all I'm going to be, a network marketer, right? And then I got into the workforce. I realized there was more month left at the end of my money, right? Some of you can relate to that. I tell people I went to, you know, I did what we're taught to do, go to school, get good grades. I went to a pretty good college, Stanford University out in Palo Alto, California, and I left there with 2 pieces of paper, my diploma and the bill for my diploma, right? And maybe some of you can relate to being tens of thousands of dollars in debt educationally. That led to some consumer debt, right? The last thing you want to do is give a 20-year-old a credit card, right? When you've never had one before. And the thing for me was I looked around when I was in that circumstance where I had bills to pay and my salary, which I thought would kind of set me free at the time, when it wasn't enough, I looked around and I saw my colleagues were in the same circumstances, except they were older and had families to support. So I had gotten into personal development at that time. Anthony Robbins says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting something different. So I could flash forward 5, 10, 20 years into the future and see where I would be if I didn't do something different, because my colleagues were all there. And so I decided that to get a different result, I had to do something different. I began studying business ownership, or began studying financial independence. And I found 9 out of 10 people who weren't athletes or entertainers got there by starting businesses. So for me, that led me to study business ownership, and then ultimately it led me to network marketing, because it was the only industry that removed the barriers, time, money, knowledge, and risk, that business ownership presents. Right? Business ownership is the new American dream. Most Americans don't act upon it because of those 4 barriers. Now, in the past, there's been stigma about the industry. You know, people think that it's had scams and things like that, and all that is true. All industries have that, but here is why I believe this is the greatest industry in the world. It's the only industry where an increase in standard of living doesn't require a decrease in quality of life. Let me say that again. Network marketing is the only industry where increasing your standard of living doesn't require decreasing your quality of life. So let me give you an example. We have, I know, attorneys in here, right? I'm looking at 2 of them right now. We have doctors in here. I guarantee you they will tell you if an attorney wants to make more money, she needs to bill more hours. That's a big thing in law practice. How many hours are you billing? Well, billing more hours obviously takes more hours, right? If a doctor wants to make more money, he has to see more patients. That takes more time. If a business owner wants to make more money, he or she has to grow the business. I had a business owner tell me this back 20 plus years ago, and then it became real to me when I owned a traditional business. He said, William, I have 300 employees. They're all great people. But if each of them causes me 1 headache a year, that's a headache for almost every day my business is open. And he was right. But here in our industry, if you build it right, and that's all today is about. Tomorrow's going to be a ton of training, but today we're going to talk about the tools to allow you to build your business right. If you build it right, your business will demand less of you as it grows. So that you could then be down the road putting time into your business because you choose to and not because you have to. Let me give you an example. In a prior company, in addition to being a representative in the field, I was a partner in that company as well, but very few people knew it. And there came a time when the company was growing, and my partners came to me and they said, listen, I had chosen to be in the field in the past. They said, we really need you to come to corporate. And I said, okay. And so I took a job running the sales force with that company. I kept my organization, but I did not build it. And because of people like Marshall and Ashley and some of you who are in here, the first year when I was in corporate, not focused on building that business at all, just supporting the leaders, just like I was supporting all the leaders in that company, that business doubled in size. Wow. And that was because the leaders in that business were growing their own businesses. So do you understand the point I'm making here about the value of what we do? I don't know anywhere else where you can do that. Build something, step away from it, and have it continue to grow. So you all get that?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure you're still with me now. Because some of you may have some questions, but I promise you, if you follow the process that we're putting in place, and you take a long-term vision, your life can change dramatically. It can change to a point where you wouldn't have believed it looking back in a relatively short period of time.